I'm asked quite often from clients is what are the best questions to ask when you're planning to buy your house? And in today's episode, I've put together my 5 top questions that you should be asking either the seller or the estate agent when you're planning to buy. So let's crack into it. So the first one I would recommend asking is straight to the seller. How long have you lived here? The reason I would be looking to ask this, it gives you an indication as to the condition and the upkeep of the property. And I'm not saying that people that have lived in the property for a short period of time haven't kept it well, but generally speaking, if you've lived there in the property for a long time, you've been keeping up with the maintenance of the property. Also, it gives you an idea as to the motivations to sell. So, touching back in the condition and upkeep, you could find out that there's things going wrong in the property. You could find out that they don't get on with the neighbours. You could find out it could be a separation. So, there's lots of reasons that people could be moving house, but it just gives you an idea as to what their motivations are. And also, it gives you an idea how well they understand the local area and if they've got any knowledge of the local area in which you can tap into as well. So that's the first thing that I would look to ask. I would also consider asking, have you had any work done? Now, this is key. It's sometimes picked up in the home report up here in Scotland, but if not, it gives you an idea to find out about the property's history. So the property's maintenance and repair history. So if any work's been carried out, say that there was the roof was fitted, why was a new roof needed? Did it leak? Has that caused any further problems? Has there been any renovations and improvements to the property? And it just gives that full transparency when you go to buy it so that there's no hidden secrets when you move in. So that's the second thing that I would consider asking. Now, another one that could be quite useful is, has there been any other offers? This could help you understand how competitive the property is and what the competition is going to be like. It puts you into a good position of negotiation. And the reason for that is it gives you an idea as to what they're willing to accept, what they're not willing to accept. Because if they've declined an offer, you can find out why. Has it been timescales? Has it been price? So finding out if there's been any other offers, ask how much it was for. If it's above what you were willing to offer, you can walk away. And if it's under, then you can find out a wee bit more about placing your offer. And it just puts you into a better gives you a better understanding of how to negotiate. Then what I would consider asking is, are you in a chain? So typically as a first time buyer, there's no chain involved for you buying, but anyone that you're buying from could have an onward purchase and they might have an onward purchase as well. So it gives you an idea as to the timescales that you might need to work towards. So if someone that's in a chain, generally speaking, they need to get the chain needs to also get sorted out at the same time. It doesn't always work out that way, but most of the time the chain always happens at the same time. Also gives you an idea as to how the flexibility of the process would work. So how flexible can the sellers be? If you're very flexible, how flexible can they be with you as well? Also, you can assess the risk that's involved. So if, say, for example, it's not going to complete for 6 months down the line, do you really want to be taking the chance and getting your offer accepted and then given 6 months for a chain to fall through? Lots can happen in that time. Typically speaking, if you're in a chain, you'd be looking at moving 6 to 8 weeks later is generally the timescale. And then planning, it gives you an opportunity to plan and what's going to happen. So if there is a chain, you can understand it, you can plan for it, and you can make sure that you can be flexible for when the time comes to move in, rather than finding out at the last minute that things are changing. And the final thing that I would consider asking is what's included in the sale. Really, really important. I had a client recently, and believe it or not, they had bought a house and they had taken out the integrated appliances. It was a fairly new house, it was less than 5 years old. All of the white goods were integrated, and the person selling it had taken them with them. Generally, it didn't bode well when it came to the solicitor side of things because it was all agreed that they were to stay there. But it's always important to get that confirmation and make sure that you are discussing it at the earliest stage. Find out about fixtures and fittings, so light fit, light, light pendants and your things like your curtain poles and curtains, all of these kind of things. Make sure that you understand what's happening with them as well. But that's it from me, just a very short episode today. If you do have any questions, as always, fire them into the comments or fire them over to me. I'd be happy to answer them. And don't forget to like and subscribe. Cheers.